Today, I'm talking about the 5 things you can do when you've overdone it with your retinoid. Hi, I'm Dr. Sam, here to help coach you to bright, clear skin like I've done for thousands of patients at my Harley Street clinic. Now, on today's topic, let me start off by saying that if you haven't experienced retinoid uglies or irritation, don't worry, you will, because I think it's almost a rite of passage for retinoid users, especially in the first 6 weeks. And I'd almost go as far to say it's necessary to probe the boundaries of what your skin can tolerate, because essentially you want to find where that threshold is and pull back, because that will be the most optimal strength for your skin. And of course, that's going to change over time. So I think it's something we all experience at sort of 4 p.m. The chin gets a bit peely, the skin starts to feel a bit tight. It is just one of those things. Now, in terms of what causes it, I think there are really 3 mechanisms at play. Now, the first is that we are naturally speeding up our cell turnover. So cells are coming to the surface more quickly. The next thing is that retinoids themselves can trigger the release of inflammatory proteins called cytokines, leading to inflammation. And the third thing is they may well have a direct impact on the adhesions between the surface skin cells, causing them to come apart. And that's what manifests in what we see clinically. So we see redness, we see dryness, and we see scaling. Now, you try and put makeup on a retinoid irritated chin, it's just not happening. But as I said, I think there are definitely things we can do to manage it and to prevent it. So let's go through those. So the first thing to do when you experience retinoid irritation is to stop. A bit like sunburn, there is no point in keeping on going once that degree of barrier disruption has taken place. So you must stop. Then you must critically evaluate your routine. Have you somehow inadvertently caused this to happen? Have you gone in with too strong a retinoid? Have you combined it with other actives prematurely? Or have you combined it with ingredients that will in themselves increase the risk of irritation without delivering any benefit? So if you've put a routine together with a retinoid that also contains essential oils and fragrance, stop and reboot. The next thing you want to do is to strip back your routine. So if you've isolated offending items, you must remove them. And I think the ideal routine to go alongside a retinoid includes an unfragranced, non-foaming cleanser that supports barrier function, a barrier boosting moisturizer, and a gentle sunscreen suitable for sensitive skin. So no fragrance or other irritants. Ideally, mineral sunscreen if your skin is sensitive. The next thing that you want to allow to happen is to repair your skin barrier. And I have done a whole video on this, but essentially stopping the retinoid and using those simple, basic supportive skincare steps might well be enough. But if it's not, think about adding in a barrier repairing mask or a heavier duty moisturizer, a barrier repair product, the likes of which come from La Roche-Posay with their Cicaplast Balm and Avène with their Cicalfate. Occasionally, things will have gone even further and there'll be significant redness inflammation. You might need to use a little bit of a mild steroid cream. So 1% hydrocortisone cream can be used twice a day for 3 to 5 days to bring any active inflammation under control. Now, step 4, you're not going to like it, but it's allowing time to heal. So your barrier is not going to repair overnight. I think that is one of the commonest mistakes I see with my patients is that they stop, they reset, but they don't allow enough time for things to normalize. And it can take up to 10 to 14 days for your barrier to completely settle down if it's really been traumatized. So be patient, allow skin really to settle completely. You don't want any hint of the rumbling still going on in your skin before you restart your retinoid. Step 5, we're ready to restart. Now, I think it's really important to look at what level you were using your retinoid at when things started to go awry. So had you gone from doing it every other day to daily? Had you removed your buffering layer of moisturizer? Either way, I want you to look critically at what you were doing when things went wrong. So I would start off doing things less frequently, smaller amounts of retinoid, and I would always recommend buffering with moisturizer first. I think this is probably the most powerful step. If you've been applying your retinoid to cleanse skin, the simple act of moisturizing first, allowing it to absorb, will really help improve tolerability of your retinoid. Do check out my recent video on how to apply a retinoid to make sure that you're doing these things correctly, that you're not overdoing the quantities, and you know the right way to apply it to avoid localized irritation in areas like around the nose, the eyes, and the lips. If all of that isn't working for you, then you need to look at your product and decide, are you actually using something that's too strong for your skin? So a simple hack in the first instance is just to dilute it back with a bit of moisturizer, literally half the amount of retinoid, half the amount of moisturizer, or shift gear and go in with a lower potency product. Honestly, this is a long race. This is not something you want to sprint hard at the beginning. It's not worth incurring the bumps and bruises of using something too strong in the early days. Go gentler, it's absolutely fine. And over time, you acquire tolerance. So using something less strong for a period of time will enable you oftentimes to climb the retinoid ladder. So be patient and let your skin direct you in what it can handle. So I hope that gives you a game plan for something that, if it hasn't happened already, as I said, is quite likely to happen at some point in your retinoid journey. But I want you to have the skills and the confidence to handle whatever comes your way, because you know I'm a retinoid cheater, guys. I want you to get the most out of this amazing group of ingredients. And having those tools to hand, whether it's the simpler skincare routine in the background, cutting out your actives, using the right hydrating mask to repair your barrier, heavier barrier repair cream, or even a little bit of hydrocortisone. These are the tools that will enable you to keep on going with your retinoid, and hopefully it will be event-free. So if this video on tackling the retinoid uglies has been useful to you, please share it with a friend who'll also benefit. I really do want you guys to help me spread the word on how to tackle skincare to get the most out of it, so you can get the freedom and confidence that bright, clear skin can deliver. Bye for now.